Many moons ago, in a small town somewhere just halfway up the mountains and halfway down the sea, the nights became colder, the days shorter, the food scarce. It seemed that the villagers were rich yesterday, but now they feared the winter because if the sun doesn't come back, they will all die. Grandfathers, grandmothers, the ancients of the village who were wiser than the contemporary wisdom, spoke a legend. Nobody had names. The phoenix, the eternal fire. Its plot was that of an ancient phoenix which had its fire at the top of the mountain. With this flame, the ice that reigned over the land was to be melted and new life to be brought into existence. However, the fire has extinguished long ago, and no one knew how to ignite it once again. No one, except for one person, a young warrior named Lyra. Thus Lyra has been raised on the tales of the phoenix by her grandmother, who was the last of the guardians of the old world. When the crops started failing, and when winter had begun to set in, Lyra knew that it was time for her to do something. They forwarded her a map left behind by her grandmother and an amulet which was believed to lead one to where the bird of fire rested. The climb was treacherous. Snowstorms swirled about her, and the slope became more and more steep as she proceeded. Depending on the legend, spirits of ice and wind lived on the top of the mountain and met Lyra there. They said that only those who got an understanding of what it means to let go of something that you hold dear could be the ones to reignite the flame again. Admittedly, Lyra did not lose her stand, for she needed to go on in order to save her people. On top of the mountain in a cave of ice, Lyra finally faced the phoenix that had killed Will. They were not the hot bird of the stories yet. It was a giant bird of tremendous age with feathers as golden as molten metal and eyes of hellfire. But the phoenix was ill. The fire barely smoked, and the phoenix had no heart. "I am ember, fired beyond the flame," the phoenix crooned. "It can never burn again." Lyra bowed to the phoenix they were and presented it with the talisman her grandmother had left her with earlier. It shone weakly in her hand. "I've come to relight the eternal flame," she told them, and her voice did not shake with the cold that had seemed to worm its way into her very marrow. There was sadness in the phoenix's eyes. When deciding to relight the flame, one has to bring something of incredible worth, it stated. Only a true sacrifice can help you light the flame. Lyra remembered her village. Children wrapped in the covers and crops are dying on the fields. She imagined her grandmother, the only one who had faith in her all these years. Taking no seconds to think, Lyra moved her hand towards the depth of her soul and made a certain choice. "I will give my strength," she told him, understanding that the moment the flame is lit, she will be unable to ever be a warrior again. The phoenix made a joyous sound and taking off flew happy now with brand new wings and the ability to flame. The frost that had strangled the mountain seemed to turn into steam, cleaving the flame that shortly afterwards arrived to the village below to resurrect the frozen ground. It was the beauty of being defeated, but a victor. Lyra sat back, taking a deep breath as a phoenix rose to the sky, its flame back fully. She understood that she had won, and that her people had been saved, though with great sacrifice. She came back down the mountain with just the flame's light to lead her, and when she got back to her village, she was hailed a heroine, but she would never fight with a sword again. And from that day on, the flame of Phoenix never went out, and has warmly enveloped the village through the coldest of winters. The story taught that there was no strength in strength, but in the strength one derives out of sacrifice.
Please like and subscribe for support.